Hello, everyone, and welcome to this VeeamON virtual session, the future of Microsoft 365 data protection. My name's Edward Watson. I'm a principal product marketing manager at Veeam Software, and I'm joined by two great guests. We have Corinne Bissett. Please introduce yourself.
Hi, again, Corinne Bissett. I am a technologist here at Veeam Software, and I'm also a Microsoft MVP.
And we have Brad. How are you, Brad?
Yeah, hi, I'm doing great. Thanks for having me here. I'm a principal product manager at Microsoft, and I lead the development of the Microsoft 365 backup storage platform.
Excellent. We've got two great speakers, folks, and we have this week, you've likely heard about Salesforce. You've likely heard a lot about Enter ID. We are doing a double click into Microsoft 365. This is such an important workload to still make sure that you have protected. And without further ado, let's look into why that is. Let's open it up with just the sheer data growth that we're seeing. 2 billion plus new Microsoft 365 files added every single day, only compounded by this new AI-generated content that our internal employees are developing every single day. These new AI capabilities are certainly going to continue to add to this growth. It's just tremendous and just highlights really the importance of making sure that you have a good data protection strategy in place. The move to leveraging SaaS backup solutions for SaaS data is absolutely undeniable. 88% of organizations very likely to use BaaS within the next 2 years. 75% of enterprises will prioritize backup of SaaS as a critical requirement by 2028. And lastly, 23% cited better protection of SaaS as something they would change. And I'm curious, Brad, if you're seeing the same thing on your side, Microsoft ecosystem, does this speak well to what you're seeing as well?
It does. Yeah, thanks for that introduction, Edward. And we do hear from customers looking to improve their backup posture for their Microsoft 365 offerings.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So I think this conversation as well, Brad, we can't really begin this conversation without really just going back to the Veeam and Microsoft partnership and what we've established really over the past 15 years from our early 2010 involvement as an ISV for on-prem. And of course, lots of accolades along the way, becoming a Microsoft Teams certified backup and restore provider. Of course, the first-party SaaS solution that we have partnered on as well, the integration with Microsoft 365 backup storage that we're going to get into here. And of course, very recently, expanding that partnership with the new AI capabilities agreement and certainly the equity investment. Brad, I'm definitely curious for your perspective on really the past few years. They've been very, very exciting. But from your perspective, what are we really doing to partner together and accelerate for customers?
It's a great question. This is an exciting time for us too. So again, I lead the Microsoft 365 backup storage platform, which we're going to be talking about more later today. And I wanted to highlight how valuable our relationship between my team, Microsoft, and Veeam's Data Cloud product engineering teams really are. We've been working on a weekly basis for the last 2 to 3 years so that Veeam can build a tightly integrated solution with our backup storage platform to deliver their express and premium solutions. And that tight integration and weekly touch point has really allowed both Veeam and us to produce a really high quality product for our joint end customers.
Excellent. Absolutely. These have been, again, just very, very exciting past few years for Veeam and Microsoft. And we're looking forward to many more. We need to highlight as well, if you are just sort of entering the Microsoft 365 data protection space, you can really have the confidence knowing that no other third-party backup vendor protects more Microsoft 365 data. Again, we've been in the space, coming up to a decade now for Microsoft 365 backup, and we have just absolutely millions of users protected. And of course, we are a proud Gartner leader, and we have that proud partnership with Microsoft. Looking forward to many more decades of that tight integration with Microsoft. And I think that brings us to Veeam Data Cloud. And I'm very excited personally to present on this because there's lots of great things, lots of new things, I should say, happening. And really what this has become for us is this unified cloud data resilience platform. Really has become sort of the second half of our Veeam Data platform, the on-premises platform, to our backup services suite now, where we have the backup and restore capabilities customers need, the embedded security, the insights you need, the AI capabilities that we're accelerating, the operational excellence that we have built in. And all of this is highlighted by all of these new applications we've introduced into this suite. So very, very exciting stuff. But I do want to double click into Veeam Data Cloud from Microsoft 365. That's what we're here to talk about today. We've talked about the industry leading nature of this solution. It is truly it's built for the cloud, very modern, very secure, very intuitive, built-in certifications. Everything's included. And when I say everything's included, there's quite a lot, isn't there, Corinne? Because I mean, the customer gets quite a lot taken care of for them. Why don't you take us through that, Corinne?
Absolutely. So there's been a huge production over the last couple of years for moving from what's called the client model, which is that on-premises software that you install and manage all of the infrastructure, the storage, and the management yourself. And what we've done is taken off some of that workload, that stress, and put those into a software as a service, backup as a service model. So we'll take care of that backend storage, so you don't have to worry about, is it secure? Is it available? Is it the fastest that's going to work with my infrastructure? Then we also take care of the components that move the data, all of those processing compute powers, whether you're working on an on-premises environment or you're in a cloud environment, those types of compute add up quite quickly. Next, we make sure all of this lives within a secured infrastructure. We learned a lot from our thick client days on the on-premises side of what is the most secure networking configuration, how do we segment those management networks off, how do we make sure that you're doing encryption and immutability on that back end. And with this, we're allowed to and able to offer the service level immutability that is a step above just doing it yourself, because it's got a management plane separation. And all you have to do from the user side in this scenario, as we move over to the right side of the chart here, is create some jobs, monitor those jobs, and perform restores for your end users whenever necessary. Now, this comes in a couple of different flavors. They're all going to include within the backup platform all of the applications we back up under the traditional backup scope. So we have the OneDrive, the Exchange, the SharePoint, and the Microsoft Teams, and that all fits under that flexible restore and backup model where it's going to go to a traditional type of object storage. You're going to get all of the search capabilities that you need and individual files all the way down to single item attachments to emails in that environment. Now, there are some limitations to pulling that data out and having to put that data back in through the channels on the Microsoft plane, because that's a lot of data coming in and you can run into problems, which is why we now also offer the Express, which is based off the Microsoft backup storage. They have a side-by-side unit in the production environment that allows you to have sort of like a snapshot instance of all of your data. So if you do have to pull back a large chunk, whether it's for a certain kind of a task or possibly someone accidentally misconfigured something on Microsoft 365 environment that caused any kind of mass data loss that you now need to correct and bring back, you're able to do that here and bring it back in a much faster. And we're talking, instead of just like a terabyte a day, we're talking about terabytes in minutes back to the production environment. We can go to the next, and I'm passing it over to you, Brad.
Yeah, thank you. Let's dive a little bit deeper into the Microsoft 365 backup storage architecture that powers Veeam's Express and Veeam offering. So we on the Microsoft 365 engineering team designed the backup storage platform from the ground up to provide incredibly fast and secure scaled recovery tooling. The platform can restore your content to a healthy prior point in time at bulk speeds of up to 3 terabytes an hour, which, as you may know, is generally much faster than solutions relying only on this migration-based export-import data movement, as Corinne just mentioned. That provides quite a valuable performance boost, especially when you're looking to get your business back up and running after a large-scale attack or data manipulation event. Now, we leverage geographically redundant, immutable storage and massively parallelized database architectures to provide this fast recoverability capability. Because at the end of the day, you're not buying backup, you're really buying the ability to restore. And it's that fast scaled ability to restore in a secure environment that the Microsoft 365 backup storage platform integrated with Veeam Express provides to you. Now, you may be asking, why did Microsoft invest in this new platform? Why did we partner with Veeam to deliver it? And what are we doing to continue to improve platform capabilities? So to start with, we knew there was a gap in migration-only backup and restore offerings in the market before we launched this backup storage platform. And the reason is because we had customers with a lot of data come to us who were struggling to recover via migration-based restore when they had large data issues. For example, if a customer had maybe half of their sites or OneDrives or mailboxes hit by a ransomware that was encrypted and they needed to recover very quickly, that was a challenge in this age of large data size tenants. And so that is why we invested in it. And as discussed before, that's why we architected the solution and the platform the way we did. And then we also knew that this platform provides significant speed and performance benefits, it doesn't solve customers' backup and restore needs across the board for all of their data estates outside and inside of M365. And again, for various features that we might not have now or in the future. And that is exactly why we partnered with Veeam to deliver a comprehensively broad, best-of-breed solution to meet all of your backup and restore needs. And it doesn't stop there. We are continuing to invest in the platform in terms of continually improving the performance capabilities at bulk speeds, as well as more intricate and cached, smaller scale restore, fast restore points for small and large sites within OneDrive and SharePoint. We're also adding things like multi-admin notification that provides greater defensive depth so that you can be notified in case of a malicious insider action, and you can take corrective actions to recover from that much more quickly as well. So we're really excited about not only continued investment in the platform, but also continued investment in integration with Veeam's Express offering as well.
Awesome. And it looks like it's my turn again to hop directly into that demo. Let me go ahead and get that up for us here. Honestly, this is actually one of my favorite parts of this entire thing, is to get to do these types of demos. If you're not already familiar, this is actually our Veeam Data Cloud infrastructure for the Microsoft 365 backup. And our first window that you come into offers you something that I like to call like a coffee window. So you walk in the morning, you're sipping your coffee, making sure everything is A-okay, and you can move on to the more critical tasks in your day. That's really what this offers you, but so much more. So we start off, of course, with those backup status windows. So you can see if you have any kind of warnings, or if you need to go take a look at maybe users that didn't process the previous night and to why that might have happened. We also have a quick insight to your backup retention. This number is based off of what you've defined as your critical retention length, and it'll continue to tick up as you get closer to that and meet that compliance in this cloud for you. A really interesting thing is over here on the lower left-hand side, In many cases, we manage tons of users, and we have no idea what those users are consuming out in the ecosystem. I've ran into customers who maybe had tons of people out at a trucking institution, and all the people did on the trucking side was log into their exchange via their phone and never needed like a desktop application or computer. And the company was able to save tons of money by switching them over to maybe like a frontline worker license, which they were then able to move back over to something else in their environment. And we'll take a look over here at the storage consumed in your environment and who might be taking up more of that storage utilization. As you can see here, my manager happens to be taking up a large portion of space in the environment, and I can go check to see if maybe that's necessary or if they decided to upload something like a bunch of cat videos, which we may want to address in the environment. Next is actually if we scroll down a little, we can get a first line look at if anyone is performing restore processes. We recently opened this up to our Veeam 100 so that they could get a first-hand look, and I can already see all of the users, the types of restores that they're performing. And I can even double click on and get more information about what they accessed, the type of protocol and session they initiated, and what I can do about that if I wanted to limit or gain more access to that. Next, let's take a look at the backup policies. This is one of the things that would be responsible for the end user whenever working in this type of relationship, which is I need to configure the jobs. And as you can see from our presentation earlier, we have the two presentation types and policy types. One is going to be the flexible, which is the more traditional backup storage. So you send this off to an object storage and later restore granularly. Then we have the express type. And I really like to think about these two, like if you're working at a warehouse and you have a pallet of concrete and all you have to move through is a single door to get that entire pallet of concrete through, that would be more like your flex option. Now, if you happen to have a giant garage door and a forklift that can take that entire pallet in all at one go, that's really what the equivalent of having the express mode here is in those policies. On top of that, we have tons of great reports. One of the ones I like to check on occasionally is our protected user. The protected user will allow you to run a report to see who is included and who is not included in any of your backup policies. Maybe you created a policy and they weren't added in as part of the onboarding cycle, but you can then correct and make sure those users are in fact being protected. Next, let's take a look at some of the restore processes. You can see all of the users here on the left-hand side, and we can immediately initiate a restore for an entire mailbox by clicking this restore option, and we could get this express mode. This will overwrite and replace everything within the mailbox. So this is more of a, okay, everything is gone. We need to get everything through this door at once. Or if you need maybe just changed items, missing items, and some more advanced options like that, you can place in this incremental restore back to those locations. The last thing that I'd like us to take a look at today is going to be under our settings to take a look at the administrative side of this console. You can have multiple tenants from the same location without having to switch back and forth between these two data entities. Now we'll head back and we'll pass the ball or get the screen back up for PowerPoint.
So you've likely heard a little bit about what we're doing with Entra already. I do want to reiterate, this is something that while it is not within Microsoft 365, it is connected in that many of our customers have many of our M365 customers have highly requested Entra ID support. So this does tie very much into this conversation. We really do provide that proactive protection, really giving you control over any changes that gets made in Entra ID, as well as very quick recovery of many different data sets within Entra ID, whether it be the users, groups, app registers, logs, and of course, tying in the value of Veeam Data Cloud. Everything's included, right? We've spoken about that at length. You get everything from the service managed for you, whether it's the software, the updates, the patches, security, everything is taken care of for you. And again, it's able to be bundled onto your existing Veeam Data Cloud from Microsoft 365 at a very low cost, and it comes in premium by default. So if you are a premium customer already, you get the added benefit now of Entra ID support. Very exciting stuff. I do want to mention a few opportunities for current Veeam backup for Microsoft 365 customers. If you are evaluating Veeam Data Cloud, we hope you are, you do get up to 20% off for actually moving to Veeam Data Cloud from your on-prem solution. So there are two main options for moving, or soon-to-be options. The first is mainly starting fresh. So you have the ability to simply store your historical Veeam backups separately. You can access it for free via Veeam Community Edition. So you can continue to access those backups completely free of charge, a free license, and start fresh with Veeam Data Cloud. And very soon, we will have the opportunity with some eligibility requirements to offer that full migration. So that is coming soon. We're excited to be able to offer that to those customers needing or having that requirement of migrating that backup data to Veeam Data Cloud. So exciting options coming, some exciting options available for customers looking to make that move. I do want to also highlight that, like you, many customers have already moved to Veeam Data Cloud. So we have, of course, ServiceNow, which was really a great experience for us to have this customer join us on Veeam Data Cloud. They had this problem where they weren't able to have that high performance backup and restore. There were some gaps when it came to their confidence level for being to address those disaster recovery needs. And like you've heard from Brad and from Corinne, our Express built with Microsoft 365 backup storage was just a perfect fit for them in making sure that they go forward with confidence that they can recover regardless of what the data size is, right? So leveraging speeds as high as 3 terabytes per hour in terms of those restore capabilities. So very, very happy for them, excited for them to leverage that solution for their recovery needs. Lastly, please, if you are interested, go ahead and scan that QR, request a private demo, contact us. If you have questions, we are here to help you and make any issues that you have regarding Veeam Data Cloud, any questions that you have regarding Veeam Data Cloud. We want to address those very quickly and efficiently. And lastly, we thank you. We thank you for joining us. Great information from Brad. Thank you so much for joining us, Brad, and sharing all the upcoming exciting new capabilities Microsoft are investing in. And thanks again, Corinne, for the great demo. And with that, I think we all wish you a great rest of the day and a fantastic rest of VeeamON. Thank you for joining us.